everybody, welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0. We are taping here on April the 14th, 2021. I am the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm back. I've got my golf pencil. This is the conquistador, Dave Height.
Yes, you missed him. You know you did. Last week he was gone. You were stuck with me. But now you get the tag team, the all-time tag team.
Back again. Check it, correct it. Let's begin.
WrestleMania preview on our weekend edition coming up Saturday morning. We are nothing if not shameless self-promoters.
And hey, April 14th, happy Burt Gummer Day to all you Tremors fans out there.
If you don't get that, shame on you. You should not listen to the weekend edition. Well, you should, but anyway, we have got to wrap up the Masters. Masters just concluded this past weekend. Hideki Matsuyama.
Congratulations. First major.
And first Japanese player ever to win a major, so good for him. And, of course, the picture that you and I have talked about with him at O'Hare Airport out of Chicago.
Mr. Casual.
Yeah, with the green jacket, just not even in a bag, not even in we go to an interview in some other city, we put that sleeve, that plastic sleeve.
It's going to be on a hanger.
You're right.
Covered up. Nope.
Yeah.
He's wearing that son of a gun and sitting there waiting for his flight back to Japan. He's got it draped over the back of the seat next to him.
Cool for him. Great for him. Now, that being said, I'm Mr. Negativity. I know you wouldn't think it. I know. No, who would think I was Mr. Negativity?
Everyone.
I'm going to look at the people that choked at the Masters.
Many choked.
My particular two, and then I'll let Dave throw his one in. Xander Schauffele, everybody said, oh, brave it was that he came so close, and then, he had a bad hole. He choked. Rose choked. Rose had a 7-under score posted after the first round.
That should have led him to winning the whole damn thing.
2 over par the entire next 3 rounds. And he has done this in the past. Sorry, Dustin Rose is a choker. He is. And I'm sorry to say it. He seems like a nice guy.
But he can't play under pressure.
You can't choke away that kind of a lead, that kind of at Augusta, a hard course, you put up a 7-under, which is phenomenal. Borderline record, and then you go the rest of the 3 days, the rest of the weekend, and you can't do anything.
I mean, that's worse than 10 cupping it.
Now, what about your guy?
Justin Thomas, the perpetual scowl. This guy, he lets his emotions get to him. I mean, here you go, right before the weather break, he was probably the hottest player out on the course. And he couldn't adjust after the rains and everything on the wet conditions. He just completely lost it. And that's where Matsuyama shined. He was the one who was able to adapt to the changing conditions.
Yep, Saturday was the big day. Matsuyama shined on Saturday. And of course, Sunday is survival.
Yeah.
Sunday is
you just hope to get through and
even
not
par.
lose.
Maybe if you get under par, you're lucky. You're thanking the heavens above. But you're right, Justin Thomas. I'm just not a big fan. Some of the younger guys coming through, I like Brooks Koepka a lot, and unfortunately, he's dealing with a knee surgery situation. But Justin Thomas, and I got to deal with the idiot with the pork pie hat who says he's going to destroy the course. I'm going to destroy the course.
I think the course destroyed you.
Yeah. So, Xander Schauffele, like I said, choked. I hate to say it, but sometimes people choke more than somebody else wins. And I think that was a situation this particular Masters. I would have liked to have seen somebody step up and win the thing instead of somebody kind of holding on at the end.
Yeah. This year it seemed to really play tough.
Yeah.
This was
the idiot I'm talking about, obviously, is Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau thinks he's King Kong. I'm going to go out and drive the ball 500 yards, and I'm going to destroy Augusta.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah. Okay. You got You've got one major. Doesn't make you a Hall of Famer. Okay, dude. Settle down.
There's a lot of guys with one major, and there's a lot better golfers who have yet to crack it.
Right. And the weather did play a certain effect early on. It was fast and soft because of the rains. But that's how you're gonna have to deal with that on every course you play, any major you play.
Yeah, that's part of the game.
Right. So again, congrats to Hideki Matsuyama. Dave's got a dumbass coming up where he's going to refer back to this major in particular. And it's just an absolute travesty with what happened on the first tee with the commemoration of the opening Thursday morning.
Forever unclean.
But, hey, did you know that Rory McIlroy on his round on Thursday hit his dad?
I saw that. Hit him in the back of the leg.
Rory McIlroy's dad was sitting in the gallery. Got hit by his own son.
What are the odds?
So way to go, Rory.
What was the betting line on that one?
Yeah, what are the props bets on that? And I this is what we do. We're in podcasting. We like to think, and, Dave and I, of course, are better than everybody out there. But we like to criticize commentators and the people that give us the play-by-play and the in-game commentary on sports. So I am going to give you my quick recap of the Masters and the guys that covered it. Number one, I gained a lot of respect for Jim Nantz because Jim Nantz, I have never really criticized him, but he's not my favorite. But at the same time, I have got to give the guy a lot of props.
He is always solid.
Yes, exactly. Jim Nantz never disappoints. He's never outlandish. He's never out there in terms of, like Tony Romo. Oh my God, he completed a pass. Oh my God, what a great block. Like a little schoolgirl. If you haven't guessed, I hate Tony Romo.
No.
But Jim Nantz is, hello friends has become, a catchphrase. It's getting to the point where it's cool, and I usually wouldn't in the past, never would I have said that I thought Jim Nantz was cool, but
he never does anything to make you really like him, but he doesn't do anything to make you hate him.
He doesn't distract from the broadcast.
No, he doesn't. He presents it as it is, and he's just a solid announcer.
And then, of course, Thursday
and Friday. He's probably the most unbiased.
Yes, I would agree with that. Jim Nantz never inserts himself. Never inserts himself in the dialogue.
No.
And then, of course, you have Scott Van Pelt. Thursday, Friday, ESPN had a say in the broadcast. And I have never liked SVP. A lot of people would hate me for saying this, but guess what? He's not as good as you think he is. I subjected myself for a long time in the car driving to and from work, lunch, or coming home to him and his stupid show with Ryan Russillo, the biggest D-bag egomaniac of all time. And that was just awful to listen to. Sorry, I had to listen to that instead of listening to Fleetwood Mac reruns on our local classic rock station. And then
I think I would take bamboo shoots under the fingernails.
Yeah, I know. What are you gonna take? Hearing, don't stop for the 5,000th time
that week,
or Ryan Russillo telling you how he hooked up with DMZ at a club. Because I'm a cool dude, man. Notice where he is now. He's nowhere to be found. He's forgotten because he's an ass bag. But I feel bad for the last one I'm going to talk about. Vern Lundquist. Vern Lundquist is a class act. Vern Lundquist has been doing college football. I know he's walked away from college football here, but he did the Masters this year, and I'm telling you, something is wrong with Vern Lundquist. I looked it up. I tried to find something. I did some research.
Age is catching up with Vern.
But it's uncomfortable to listen to him now because there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he had dental surgery. I don't know if he had a stroke. I'm not trying to be light here. I'm not trying to make a joke. He literally was slurring his words for 4 days during the Masters, and it was uncomfortable to listen to it.
That's one of those times where discretion is a better part of valor, where you have an icon in announcing that you can't put him in that type of position just to have him there.
Completely agree. So, that being said, have I ranted about the Cubs yet?
No, you haven't.
Cubs suck!
And Cubs there's their segue.
Suck! My Cubs suck balls. 5-7 as we tape this. 167 batting average through 11 games, worst in baseball. Blow it up!
It's coming. It's coming. Latest I heard is by June or July, Rizzo could be a Yankee. See what you can get out of him.
I don't know what to think. It's just the Cubs somehow botched this. It's like the Bears. I've always compared the Cubs to the Bears back in the mid-'80s.
What did I tell you back when Theo left? That he left them as a steaming pile of garbage and Hoyer was left holding it.
I know.
Theo screwed up so many ways. Jason Hayward contract.
Yeah. I still think we're stuck with him for another 3 years. Oh, God help us all. The thing is, I watch the Cubs, and who's teaching these guys how to swing a bat?
You don't have a hitting coach?
Hap, big looping swing. There's no way he's going to be able to hit for average. Jason Hayward, big looping swing. There's no way he's going to be able to hit for average.
Hayward's
How about
a
compact goddamn swing where you might be able to hit the ball and put it in play and maybe get a hit once in a while instead of a home run or a flyout?
It's all about the launch angle.
And Javi Baez, you throw him a fucking butterfly, he swings at it.
And as bad as you guys are, the Sox are underperforming. My bullpen, the strength of this team, has let us down 4 or 5 times. We've had a lead and they've blown it. Hendricks has blown a couple of saves. The bullpen's given up leads, and it's been painful. Their hitting isn't much better. Yermin Mercedes is the only bright spot on offense for us. So he's hitting over 500 for the first time in the majors. So, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's still early, so nobody in the AL Central is running away with it. Everybody's kind of hovering right around the 500 mark, so it's not getting away yet.
Yeah, what'd they say last night? I think wow, Pittsburgh beat San Diego, and that was the first time they've beaten anybody since the Cubs all year. Woo! How's that make you feel, Cubs fans? How's that make you feel?
And as we tape on the 14th, that Tuesday night pitching duel between Giolito and Bieber lived up to all expectations. Those two were dealing all night long. It was phenomenal to watch if you liked a good pitching battle. Unfortunately, the Sox lost in the 10th, but there you go.
Quick props to Joe Musgrave of the Padres. He got the first no-hitter in San Diego history.
Wow.
Back on the 9th. Good for him.
Congratulations.
And they did good for us in our first week, our picks.
Yep, still one game back.
Yeah, but we still have 2 Dodgers picks.
We do have the Dodgers yet.
And just one last note on the Cubs before we wrap up our first segment. This is how pathetic the Northsiders are. Jock Peterson hits his first home run of the year, and they feel like they have to give him a waffle iron in the dugout.
What?
These stunts, these little stupid-ass stunts they pull. Oh, it's all for team morale. It's all make it fun and light, and it sucks! Take the game more seriously. Start taking more batting practice than going out to IKEA and buying waffle irons. Hell, I don't even know if IKEA sells waffle irons. It just makes me so mad that you're putting more thought into this crap than to going out and taking batting practice to improve a 167 batting average.
You can have a waffle iron once everything starts clicking and you're hitting over 250 as a team.
That's right. As always, the Conquistador is the sane, rational one among us. You
have to earn the right to have the fun.
As I try to choke the blood down in my throat after screaming for a solid minute.
We almost had a Scanners moment here, kids.
All right, kids, we'll be right back. Here's a promo coming up. Greetings and salutations, thrill seekers and podcast lovers. I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
And I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
And if you have the same love-hate relationship that we have with sports, you absolutely need to join the Sports Frenzy Army. Apologies to Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. New episodes drop every Thursday morning on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, and Breaker. Come on in and drink the non-PC Kool-Aid. And as our friend Tony Montana was heard to say with his dying breath,
say hello to my little friends at Sports Frenzy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0. It is April the 14th. This episode will drop on April the 15th, 2021. I am the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
And welcome back. We're going to talk some NBA here real quick. God forbid, if anybody who's listened to us over the years, watched us on YouTube or on cable access, knows we're not big NBA fans, but there are some kind of interesting storylines outside of what's going on the court that we need to talk about. Alex Rodriguez must have been, is he fit? Oh, I almost got the 4. I almost got dumped by Jennifer Lopez. J-Lo almost dumped me, so I need to buy the worst team in the NBA.
Just for her.
No, she's not involved. That's what's interesting.
Whoa.
So A-Rod and billionaire Mark Lowry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I really don't care because he's a billionaire. So who the hell cares how I pronounce your name? You've got $1 billion. They're buying the T-Wolves and the Lynx of the WNBA for $1.5 billion. And
much money.
The funny thing is, this past year's number 1 pick in the NBA draft went to the Timberwolves. And he was interviewed, and they asked him, do you know who Alex Rodriguez is? He had no clue. Clue.
It would have been funny if he'd have just said, is that J-Lo's ex-husband?
Is that J-Lo's man bitch? But
Not former baseball great.
Yeah. Who will never get in the Hall of Fame because of steroids.
And who is awful in the booth.
And choked for the most part in the playoffs.
We could go on, but let's digress.
Yeah. Can I just throw one last one in?
Oh, all right.
God. Him and Jessica Mendoza. Sorry, I'm getting J-Lo and J-Men mixed up. Jessica Mendoza and A-Rod had to be the worst in the booth of all time. Listening to
was
those
pretty
two
bad.
ramble on
incoherently.
Oh my God, they were just terrible. They couldn't break down a baseball game to save their lives.
No, it was pretty brutal.
I mean, I wonder how many mirrors they had to have in the booth as they pretty themselves up to make sure they look good for the camera.
Well, they had the mirror pods for COVID purposes.
That's true. They could do double duty. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Keep yourself distance from the plebs.
And still gaze longingly into your own eyes.
Yeah. Very good. Yes. God forbid, the egotism would ever have to take a break with those people. But now,
what were we talking about?
I'm not doing a dumbass. I'm not doing a dumbass right now. As we're still sticking with the NBA, I'm not doing a dumbass yet, but this guy is in the running for dumbass of the year.
Ooh.
And that would be Kyrie Irving, who took yet another leave of absence from the Nets. No excuse, no reason given.
He just said, didn't even say, just wasn't there.
Yeah, he missed the April the 12th game, which I think was delayed to the 13th because of the unrest in Minnesota. He missed that for personal reasons. Didn't even use the shooting in Minnesota as an excuse. But now tonight they're playing another game. They played that
Isn't he
Timberwolves
supposed
game.
to be the only starter available?
Exactly. He's the only one. Durant's out. Harden's out. 3 or 4 other players are out. Now all of a sudden Kyrie comes in. Oh, Kyrie is available for the Nets. So God help us all.
Oh, wait. Does he only show up when his star is shining brightest?
He has taken 3 of these
bizarre sabbaticals?
Yeah, no excuse. Leaves of absence. Now people have speculated about why he's taken this time off, and they've said it was his father's birthday, it was his birthday, it was his sister's birthday, there was a political campaign he wanted to get involved in. Could anybody
Michael Jordan's father died, and he still played.
Could anybody else do this but him? And he still gets paid for this. How about the Nets sack up and tell him, hey, Kyrie, you don't get paid until you play a goddamn game. Oh, but then Kevin Durant would get on his podcast and curse and swear and say everybody's racist because, poor Kyrie's being victimized. For what?
For not doing his job?
He has diarrhea. He's got to take a week off. Can you please explain why you're taking the time off? That's all anybody wants. If you have a legitimate family issue, if somebody in your family is hurt or they're sick or they're dying, nobody's going to give you crap about it. But for the love of God, don't just be an enigma and say, I need 3 or 4 days off. I'm Kyrie Irving. Deal with it.
Doesn't fly.
No. And that's why you're in the top spot for my dumbass of the year. Now, I love Steph Curry. Okay, I do. He's a great player. He's a perfect player for this generation because all he does is hit threes. But I can't argue with the fact he might be the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. But that being said, and he just passed Wilt Chamberlain as the number one scorer of all time for the Golden State Warriors. But here's my question, Dave.
Does it count when he gets an extra point per shot?
Well, I don't like the fact that now they're calling the Warriors the Dubs. Why do we have to call them the Dubs now? Because it's too hard to spit out the word Warriors. Now we have to say Dubs because it's easy. Dubs. Because it's just W
Warriors,
and an S.
come out and play.
Jesus, God,
why do we live in a text society?
Exactly, that's what I'm getting at. The Bulls, are they going to be the Bees now?
God help us.
It's the Warriors, not the Dubs. It's so stupid to call them the Dubs.
It is. It's really lame.
I barely acknowledge the fact that Buffalo Wild Wings is B-Dubs.
Yeah, but that's been that way for years and years.
But at least that makes some sort of sense in shortening it. Shortening the Warriors to the
it
Dubs.
Used to be, Buffalo Wild Wings. It used to be BW3s.
Right.
And all the iterations. But the Warriors, come on.
I'm with you. This is all about, the THX, it means thanks. Is it that much harder to text thanks?
No, it's not. Especially with autofill.
Now, on a good note, I want to close out my part of this before I hand this over to Dave for his NHL update. I'm always negative. I know you people don't think I am, but I'm not Mr. Negative. Not really. I'm going to tell you who I love.
Who do you love?
Shaquille O'Neal. I love Shaq. Not only he is one of my top 3 basketball players of all time. He gets it. Shaq gets it. He does commercials for the General. They're fun. They're a lark. It's not ingratiating and irritating like Liberty Mutual and that stupid emu.
Let's have some emu burgers.
But Shaq just gets it overall. Shaq,
he's a down-to-earth guy.
So what did he do here the past week? He paid for a random guy's engagement ring at an Atlanta jewelry store.
God, he's such a classy guy.
He's done this before. He has gone into Walmarts, I believe. He's gone into other stores, and he just sees people who are struggling. They seem like they're nice people, and he pays for their TVs. And this guy, he pays for their engagement ring. Why can't we be like Shaq? Now, granted, I don't have the money to be like Shaq, but just be nice.
Have the love for humanity that this man puts on display on a regular basis.
This is the kind of guy I wish we had in the NBA right now, because I don't think LeBron James, I don't think Kyrie Irving, I don't think Kevin Durant, they get it. I still think that there's some hatred in their hearts. I still think they don't like humanity. I think Shaq understands that we're all in this together. He shows it every day when he goes out and does stuff like this. So good for Shaq. So on to the NHL. Conquistador, give us your hockey update.
Oh, where do we begin? How about with the big news out of Chicago for the Blackhawks? They just bought their minor league affiliate, the Rockford Ice Hogs, from the city of Rockford. So now they fully own it all. And they're going to put in a ton of money into renovating the stadium there. They're going to put money into the infrastructure of the city. I mean, they're just being a class organization. And so this perpetuates them having that pipeline for their young players to go back and forth. It's a win-win for everyone involved. So it's a great thing. Trade deadlines. Hawks are flirting with the playoffs. They're kind of right there borderline. Helped out the Vegas Knights sending Janmark over there. We wind up a 3-team deal, but Vegas gets Janmark and a 2022 fifth-round pick, and the Hawks in return get Vegas's 2021 second-round pick and a 2022 third. It's kind of a salary dump almost. Janmark's deal is done at the end of this season, so it's kind of a rent-a-player deal for Vegas. So who knows where he's going to wind up next year. So we will see. They did bring Vinny Hinostroza back from Florida for Brad Morrison. So kind of a reunion of sorts there. I don't know if it's going to pay off. We'll have to wait and see. So
what's your overall grade on these moves? Not good, not bad.
I'm ambivalent on him. Janmark was playing really well for us, but if we couldn't keep him, you might as well get something. And Bowman's always looking to try and correct some of the contracts he overextended on. So he's always up against the cap usually. I'm not overly impressed with him, but there you go. It's just kind of Don't love him, don't hate him.
Now, I don't know if I want to wrap up the second segment here, but I'm not trying to dig into old wounds here. And I don't think, since we've only been doing the podcast here for a month and a half, I don't think we've actually addressed this on the show. But seeing as how the Panthers are doing down in Miami, how are you feeling about Quenneville? Was that a mistake to let him go, or do you feel like he had worn out his welcome and his voice with the players?
Quenneville wore out his welcome with Bowman. Bowman being the key issue with it. Quenneville did not want to play by Bowman's rules and bring in Bowman's guys as assistants. So Quenneville had that team, and Bowman didn't care for it. So there was an internal power struggles going on, and there had been for several years.
And you've told me that the Panthers, again, I'll acknowledge I'm not a big hockey fan, but
they've been playing better under Quenneville.
Good. Yeah.
So love Coach Q. Always will.
That's what I was looking for. Okay, kids, going to wrap up the second segment. We'll be back with some NFL and some NASCAR here in just a sec.
Hey kids, this is the Conquistador Dave Height.
Along with the maestro Kevin Crane.
Join Sports Frenzy 2.0 for the unfiltered opinions on sports those talking heads on the Eastern Seaboard networks just don't have the balls to give you. We'll tell it like it is on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and Breaker, calling out the dumbasses. In the sage words of Red Foreman,
the way he's screwing up his life, death would be a sweet release. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the podcast. April the 14th, as we tape, this will hit on Thursday morning, April the 15th, 2021. All new episodes of Sports Frenzy 2.0 drop Thursday morning, so be sure to check them out every week. Make it part of your routine. Make it part of your life, because if you don't, you're going to be a lesser person for it. I'm the maestro Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
And it's time to do our weekly NASCAR look back and look forward. So we look back to Martinsville last weekend.
Do we have to?
Yeah. Oh, Dave. Oh, my poor best friend, Dave, the Conquistador. If you listened to me going off last week solo on the podcast, you know that
I went on Keselowski Island.
And everybody else went with Martin Truex Jr. And unfortunately, everybody but Dave won.
Gah! Power steering goes out on his car. Then he gets caught up in Kyle Busch's dumbass wreck. Out for the day. Ugh, not good.
Yeah, it was delayed by a day from Saturday night to Sunday. But Martin Truex did indeed prevail, his second win of the year. So now we head on to Richmond this coming Sunday, the 18th, for the Toyota Owners 400. And guess what? Considering the fact that Martin Truex is the hot hand and Richmond is one of his best tracks,
most of us are taking Truex Jr.
That's right. We've got 7 of our 8 picks in right now. Deadline's not here for a couple hours yet for our Sports Frenzy panel, but of the 7 we've got, 4 of us have Truex. We've got a Logano from the Elder Statesman. We've got Ryan Newman from Mississippi, and we have Kevin Harvick from the Governor. So we'll see how this pans out. I mean, I don't like to go back-to-back. I'll admit it straight up. I don't like doing this. I had plans later on in the season for Martin Truex, but
it's all out the window.
When I emailed you today, because I usually email my picks to the Conquistador and the Big Blue W as a double check. You know, I'm trying to be fair. So since I'm the guy that takes all the picks in,
he likes to send him out.
Right. I like to make sure people know who I'm taking too. And I told them, I said, man, with Talladega coming up next weekend, even if Truex doesn't win this, I got to believe starting from the pole, he is going to put up some decent points. And that's all I want for the next month or two. You know, given with Talladega next week, you could end up with a big fat
0. Well, one. Big fat.
Yeah, you get 1 point. Yay, 1 point.
Woo.
And we have had a lot of bad races this
I
year.
have had a lot of bad
not just
races.
you. We all have. This has been an exceptionally bad year with the altered schedule. The dirt race didn't help. So, the one big news point I want to hit in NASCAR here came out today before we move on to the NFL is Jennifer Jo Cobb from the Truck Series is going to race Cup at Talladega next week.
Awesome. I like it.
So I'm not trying to be a jackass. Well,
yes, you are.
And it has nothing to do with, don't judge me on my opinion for saying, you know, I'm not saying it's because she's a woman. I would say this if it was a man, a woman, I don't care who.
What team is she running for?
Oh, God.
Is she going to have decent equipment?
She does, but the problem is this really the race you want to start your Cup career in as a mid to late 40s driver? She is in her mid to late 40s. This is her first Cup race. Is Talladega really the race you want to run?
If it's a track she's comfortable running, then yes.
I would prefer to see somebody starting off the first time in the Cup Series, a short track, an intermediate. I just don't want to see her be the one to cause a wreck.
Everybody in that race has caused a wreck at some point. It doesn't matter who they are. Everyone has caused something.
I know. And but again, that's why I'm saying I would feel better if she had run some other races on the circuit, on the Cup circuit, and then this was like her 5th or 6th race.
But
maybe.
You've got to start at a track you're comfortable with.
I know. Oh, God. All right. We'll see what happens. You and I are going to go oppo on this. I think she could cause problems.
It's possible, but look at how many times your major stars have screwed the pooch.
I know. But usually they learn.
They don't. Kyle Busch, time and again.
You're
Joey Logano.
Joey Logano, that's a bad example. Joey Logano is actually a very good super speedway driver. Kyle Busch, you're just bitter because he has screwed us every time we've picked him over the last 2 years. No. Because he's fallen off the cliff like Jimmy Johnson
Kyle
did.
Busch is horrible on the plate.
Yes, he is.
He makes the stupidest ass moves. He has not learned.
But I still understand why you're defending somebody who's never raced on a
You got to start somewhere.
Race, a cup plate track for the first time.
It's all about the comfort level you have.
Are you picking her this week? Next week? You picking her for Talladega?
We'll see, maybe.
Oh, you will not. You will not.
No, I won't. Because you got to go with one of the established teams.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Now, see, I'll disagree with you on that. We have talked about you don't burn a pick on a good driver at Talladega because it's such a crapshoot.
Why do you think I usually go with Dylan?
I'm going with Danica Patrick.
Who's not even racing
maybe
anymore.
Clint Boyer. I think Jeff Gordon would be a good call for Talladega next weekend.
Shut up, Kevin. Next topic.
Well, it's all you, man. Bears, NFL news. What you got, buddy?
Matt Nagy is taking over play calling again with the great and glorious Andy Dalton, the savior of the Bears offense, coming back in. Nagy knows his job is on the line. He wants to try and save face somehow. I don't see it happening here. And on the flip side, you've got Ryan Pace, the general manager who, when asked, why did you settle on Andy Dalton? Well, because of his experience, leadership, durability, and his decision-making on the field. And he fits our style of offense. What? Where do you think Andy Dalton comes in with Matt Nagy's type of offense from Pat Mahomes? He couldn't do jack with Foles or Trubisky. What makes you think Dalton is going to fit your style of offense? These guys have no idea what the hell they're doing, which is why they're going to be gone at the end of the year, which is why they should not be back here for this last year.
Can I ask you a question? Do you really think, possibly, considering the fact that their jobs are on the line, could you see Pace actually trading up again to get a quarterback?
Knowing that he's going to be gone after the year, he's going to screw this organization and give away every frickin' draft pick to try and do something stupid.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to jump back in here. We all know the Bears trading up to get Mitchell Trubisky. In retrospect, even at the time, we thought it was an abject disaster. But now I'm going to look at here what the San Francisco 49ers have done. And you weren't here last week, so this a couple weeks to reflect on the whole thing with the Dolphins, the 49ers, that whole moving back and forth. Now the San Francisco 49ers now have the third pick. And rumors are that they want Mac Jones out of Alabama all the way up at 3. Where 2 months ago, the Bears might have had a shot at him at 20.
Where is this Mac Jones love coming from?
There are serious experts saying that we could see the top 5 picks with trades, people moving up and down. Yeah, top 5 picks could all be quarterbacks.
This is not a class of quarterbacks for that to happen.
It's panic. This is why the Bears got screwed with Trubisky. It's a panic move. You don't make a panic move.
No, you don't.
Jacksonville fell into the first slot. They fell into one of the best quarterback prospects of the last 10 years. Guess what? They take him, they're set. Everybody else, it's a crapshoot.
Big time. I mean, come on. Where would you think Mac Jones is a top 3 pick?
Yeah,
he is a game manager.
I don't see this at all. And now they're talking about there's odds in Vegas. Are there going to be 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round?
Oh,
let alone 5 in the top 5, which may or may not happen. They say 5 will definitely happen, but are there going to be 6 in the first round? Is Kyle Trask going to? Are the Bears going to panic and draft him in the first round? There's 3 or 4 other guys that they're saying.
No, the Bears need to stand pat, take the 20th pick, and get the best offensive lineman on the board at that point.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Because you got to find a replacement for Leno.
Even though he's still on the roster, right? We're still stuck with him.
Oh, my God. I don't know why. Just cut his ass already.
Here's a good topic that we always bounce this around every once in a while. Who's worthy of a Hall of Fame bust? Julian Edelman retired this week. Is he worthy of being in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, your initial thought would be probably not.
I would say no.
I don't think he
because
is.
I'm one of those naysayers who doesn't like the fact that now we're getting to the point where we let everybody in. Participation awards, participation trophies.
Was he a solid player? Yes. Did he step up in the clutch? Yes.
Yeah.
Is he tainted? Yes. Does he belong in the Hall? No.
And is he a whiner? Yeah, he's a freaking whiner. That's what I didn't like about him. His entire career, he winding. All he could say in his little text or his email or whatever he sent out. Oh, it was never easy for me. It was never easy for me.
Well,
just shut up, you windbag. Didn't he get busted for steroids?
Yeah.
It was never easy for me. Why? Because you were a douchebag? Yes, I know you were an MVP of a Super Bowl. I'll never do that. That's fine, but guess what? I'll never be the level of douchebag in life that you were. You're not a Hall of Famer. Goodbye.
Next topic.
Some other signings in the NFL before we wrap up this segment. These are the second tier, the third tier free agents, but I think they're going to make a significant impact here.
Your Bucks got one of the best ones out there.
Yeah, they did. Not only did they bring back all 22 starters from last year,
they added
Giovanni Bernard,
one of your best receiving backs.
Yes. So the Bucks, I'm not going out on a limb yet, but the Bucks should be the favorite to go back and repeat.
Exactly.
I liked the Cardinals' recent signing.
Bringing in Connor out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That was solid.
I don't think he fit Pittsburgh's scheme.
He didn't.
I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh right now with the Steelers because they bring back Roethlisberger, but he seems to kind of be the alpha male there, and he controls everything.
But he's not good anymore.
But the Steelers have always been a running team, and all of a sudden now they don't run anymore. So James Conner, even though he's a good running back, got lost in the shuffle, and he got injured. So I think this could be a really good signing for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree on that completely.
Now, what do you think about the Browns signing today? Did you see that?
Bringing in Clowney.
Boy, you
talk about rolling the dice.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot of incentives. I think him paired with Garrett.
That could be a formidable duo right there.
Yeah.
If Clowney can play to his potential.
Yes.
Which has always been one of his issues.
And then, of course, we have to wrap up our segment with negative stuff because that's what I do. You know.
Oh no, this has been way too long in the making. Britt Reed finally charged with this Class D felony, driving while intoxicated. That's it. He could only be facing 1 to 7 years in prison. This guy is a repeat offender. He's got a history of substance abuse. He almost killed a kid, for crying out loud, and he's basically getting a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, this poor girl is right now eating out of a tube through her stomach. Now, we don't know where he got the alcohol that he was drinking before he went on the road and caused this accident. And
2 hours after the wreck when they tested him, he still blew a 0.113. Still over the limit. After 2 hours. Why did it take so damn long to get that test?
It's a shame. It's an absolute shame that the rules, the laws in the state, Missouri versus Kansas. He was in Missouri when this happened. Missouri says 7 years maximum for this. He destroyed a young girl's life. And as Dave said, he is a repeat offender. And he got this job because of his daddy. Because his daddy is the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, it's about time we stop looking at Andy Reid like this jovial, fat, hamburger-eating, lovable guy and maybe start looking at him like I've said over the years about Tony Dungy. Stop fucking being a football coach and start being a father. This is where you people fail. This is where Dungy failed. This is where Andy Reid has failed. Start being a father. Stop worrying about the goddamn formations on Sunday for your offense.
Take care of your own house first.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of everybody kissing Tony Dungy's ass. His son committed suicide. Where was Tony Dungy? Now we have seen somebody else outside of the coaching community of these guys get injured, ruined lives. Oh, well, it's okay. No, it's not okay.
It's not. There was no law laid down in the Reid household. He totally failed as a father on that part.
It needs to be fixed. It needs to be taken care of.
Men, step up. Be fathers. Present role models. Be a role model to your kids.
Can't say it any better than that. For the Conquistador, Dave Height, I'm the Maestro, Kevin Crane. We've got one last segment coming up. We'll be right back. Hey there, kids. The Sports Frenzy 2.0 podcast is now available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and Breaker. New episodes drop every Thursday. I'm the Maestro, Kevin Crane, and along with the Conquistador, Dave Height, we'll pass along our unique takes on the world of sports, along with the usual maniacal ranting and raving you've come to expect from us over the years. And don't forget to check out new episodes of our weekend edition every Saturday morning exclusively on Spotify and Anchor. Movie reviews, television and streaming news, and of course, two hard rock fossils trying to save the music we love. As JJ Jimmy Walker would say, it's dynamite! Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the podcast. We're going to wrap up this edition on April the 14th. Going to hit on April the 15th, 2021. I am the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
As always, we close out our shows with moments of silence to honor the dearly departed. And then we get into the idiots of the world that ruin our lives completely in the Red Foreman dumbasses of the week. Only one moment of silence this week. Bobby Slick Leonard passed away this week. A Hall of Fame coach. A lot of you probably don't know him. I honestly barely recognized it when I saw the notification pass on my phone. But he is a 3-time ABA champion coach with the Pacers here in Indiana. So condolences to his family. And unfortunately now, much more time devoted to dumbasses.
And we got some dumbasses for you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start off from the Masters. Wayne Player, son of PGA champ Gary Player, is now banned from Augusta National for showing his balls inappropriately in a photo op, trying to get that subtle advertisement for his father's company. Completely backfired on this dumbass.
Now, can I ask you something, though? I agree that what he did, and he's got a past. He's bounced checks, I guess.
Yeah, he's kind of a scumball.
But you're dealing with people who have sponsors all over their hats and
But
their
there's
shirts.
a time and a place. This was a serious photo op.
I know. And that's the thing. I think if he hadn't done this when he did it, when Lee Elder was being
honored.
Given some honor, some props, I think they might have been a little more lenient with him. But just the fact he pulled this at that moment.
That was a horrible, horrible decision. No excuse for it. All right. Second dumbass that I have goes back to the Martinsville race. Final pit stops. Ryan Blaney, at the time, coming in, probably the car to beat. I don't think Truex would have caught him, but 4-tire change. The pit crew is unable to pull the air gun from in front of his car. When it drops, he takes off, it's attached, and he carries it out of the pit box, penalized to the tail end of the longest line. Absolutely killed his chance at the win, and he ran like a SOB for a top 10 finish out of that.
Yeah, and he won the first 2 stages.
Yeah.
So he was, like you said, the car to beat.
Yeah, but his dumbass pit crew cost him the victory there.
I was not able to watch the end of the race because if you listen to our weekend edition, which hits every Saturday morning, you'll hear about how I was watching WrestleMania. So, that's what we call a teaser in the biz, kids. That's a teaser. All right, I have got one of the most ambiguous Red Foreman Dumbasses of the Week awards ever, because I know in this story there is a dumbass, but I can't figure out who it is.
Wait for it.
All right. Joe West, one of the worst umpires ever, was awarded $500,000 in a defamation lawsuit versus former Mets catcher Paul LaDuca.
How did West win a defamation suit?
Well, initially when I heard this, I thought West had a very legitimate case because LaDuca implied that Billy Wagner had paid Joe West money to get a more favorable strike zone. I'm thinking, okay, if LaDuca's wrong, if that's a lie, that is defamation. You can't do that. You can't tell somebody in that position, you can't say that they're taking money to give a more favorable strike zone or make calls in their favor. So initially I thought, okay, for once I'll side with Joe West. Then I read a little more into it, and I started to listen to a little bit more of the podcasts and read some transcripts. It turns out that now it's that Billy Wagner was going to supposedly let Joe West use his vintage car in order to get a more favorable strike zone when he was up to bat. This is a pitcher.
A pitcher wants a better strike zone when he's hitting and not pitching.
And so he's going to let West use his vintage car to get that kind of perk, that kind of favor. That doesn't seem nearly as egregious as what I initially heard. So I don't know who the dumbass is here. I would normally say Joe West because virtually all the time he's a dumbass. I'm just going to say Joe West, Paul LaDuca, Billy Wagner. You're all my dumbasses of the week.
Hey, we're talking about horrible umpires. Angel Hernandez just gets the dumbass by default.
Hell yeah, baby! The Conquistador nails it again. And
there
that's it. Thank you for tuning in to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the podcast. Available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, and Breaker. I'm the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
Please check out our weekend edition, movie reviews, streaming, television, music, all of that great stuff to get you through your weekend, exclusively on Spotify and Anchor. We'll check you out next week. Have a great week.
Good night, kids.